Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and we've got a call out for a big old F350 King Ranch that's leaking some coolant. Customer knows it's coming from the front of the engine, so at that point we're not sure if it's the water pump or the timing cover that's leaking. So we've got both. We're going to go ahead, head up there, and start disassembling the front of that engine to see if we can find the leak. Best case scenario is a water pump, because that's quite a bit easier to get to and less work. Could be that timing cover though, so we'll see. The customer's trying to sell this truck, so he just wants to get it in good running order. Besides, you can't really drive it with a coolant leak for long anyways before you start overheating, and it's just a big hassle. So I'm gonna get this taken care of. We'll head up there and we'll see you there. All right, here we are, Roadside Rescue, two big old trucks. This is the one in question today. So quite a bit of stuff in the way and quite hard to get down to all that, but we'll start taking her apart, get down to that water pump, which is somewhere in there, or that timing cover, we'll see. Okay, first things first, we're gonna drain that coolant out of this system. All right, now we're going to start digging into it. We'll do a time lapse and get down to that water pump at least and figure out which one it is. We'll get to where we can see first, and then probably take a break there and show you what's going on. All right, well, here we are with everything out of the way. We can start poking around and seeing if we can find that coolant leak. I could see stuff coming off from this side over here, so we'll see where that water pump is. It looks like it may be right here, so we may be looking at this timing cover itself to replace. So it's got to be done regardless. We'll go ahead and figure out exactly what it is, and I'll let you know when we do, but this is the first look at it with everything out. All right, guys, here we are. We have everything taken off because it is, in fact, this cover gasket here, which I guess isn't a timing chain cover. Maybe it is. That's all water lines as far as I can tell, though. We'll see. I'll pull it out and we'll see. I've never pulled one of these out of these 6-liter diesels, but yeah, I mean, it's leaking over on this side here, and the water pump's here, and it's all dry. So we're down to it now. I mean, all that's left is to pull it out, so hopefully there's nothing weird that's going to happen. I may do a little research before I yank this out just to be sure, but whoever put this in before me was a bit of a hack. You could tell they've just lost a lot of bolts. They didn't put a bolt in here. There was a bolt missing out of here, which was this one. So just, you know, a bit of not taking their time. Some stuff's torqued down way too hard. This little 8mm bolt, for example, right here, just super hard. And some things weren't quite hard enough, but for the most part over torqued, and just a bit of laziness from what it looks like. So we'll go ahead and take this out and replace this gasket. So I may replace this seal as well, this main seal, but it's pretty new. I'll try and pull it out with this unit itself, and we'll go from there and see what it looks like. So here we go. All right, here we have it. It is out. Actually, there was a bolt. I think it was this one. I didn't see it for forever, so I'm like sitting here being super gentle, but I couldn't figure out how to get this out. I thought for sure it had something to do with the low pressure oil pump, and then finally, after probably 30 minutes watching some videos that none of them were helpful or had any of the information I was looking for, I saw I just poked my head around the corner and I saw that bolt. So this is out. I'm gonna get this surface all cleaned up, probably with a whetstone, and man, somebody beat that up. Like I said, whoever worked on this before just messed this thing up. The crank here's got a big gouge in it that's been sealed up with what looks like RTV. What else was it? Oh, this bolt, it's on the front of this. Remember how I was saying one of these bolts was missing? Well, I figured out why. It's actually just broken off in there, so it's unfortunate. But we'll get this cleaned up, hopefully sealed back up and ready to sell for this gentleman. So yeah, it's pretty weird, but we got the new gaskets and everything, so we'll get them in, and we'll throw that back in. All right, so here's the new one going in. I don't have any bolts started. I just got that big O-ring. There's a big O-ring on the top, about that big in there. And so we're gonna try and line everything up with some bolts and get everything going in nice and easy. Then we'll tighten them all down and work on that low pressure oil pump on the bottom. I took the water pump off because, again, it wasn't budging, so I started taking stuff off that probably wasn't necessary. Well, obviously just the water pump and that alternator. Because I thought maybe there was something else going on that I couldn't figure out, but it was that bolt hidden underneath here. It's right under here. Anyways, we're gonna go back together real gently and see if we can get everything to seal up nice. All right, here we go. We have got, actually, I'll link the video up top. I made a little video about how I press this on. You need a special tool, but I actually figured out the perfect way to do it without that special tool. So we got this seal on here, this crankshaft seal with no markings, because the last guy left some marks on the old one. We're just gonna put that oil pump on, get everything cleaned up, put all our accessories back on, and we're ready to go. So hopefully in about half an hour here we'll be done. Hasn't been too crazy of a job. Actually, everything's gone quite smoothly, but it is always worth taking the extra time, the extra 30 minutes that it might add to a big job like this, to just be careful and not break stuff and just think about what you're doing. I would get stuck and just look at some videos on YouTube. Nothing helped. Again, that bolt was just hidden, so it should have come out by itself. But if I would have just started yanking, I could have bent that cover or cracked it. It's just cast aluminum. So it's always worth it to just take your time and figure things out, and don't you know, get frustrated and start prying on stuff. So we'll go ahead, tighten everything back up. I'll show you when it's all tightened up. We'll do a time lapse of throwing everything back in there. But thanks for watching, and we'll get this thrown together and do a little outro. All right, here she is running with no leaks. All right, so that was a success. Just super hot today. I probably drank 6 bottles of water and I'm still just parched. Just feel like I've been in an oven all day, just hot. So part of the job, I tried to park the truck all the way up to the back of that, and I was using my bumper to stand on because I could get a little bit better lean on it without pulling the muscles in the back of my legs. But I couldn't get shade anywhere, so whatever, it is what it is. Pretty interesting job. I'm glad I figured out that cool trick. Yeah, this is the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Job well done. That truck's back on the road. The customer already took it on a test drive and said it drove just fine. And if you were entertained at all by the video, consider subscribing. Leave a comment if you have anything to say or question. We'll try and get a hold of everybody as long as we can. Thanks for all the interactions, all the growth the channel's been having. It's been awesome. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.